Hi buds. A fun fact, as always, did you know that 61% of people feel like they are stuck in a rut? Like the majority of people around you feel either sad, depressed, anxious, stressed, caught in between two chapters of their life, stuck in a crossroads, just in a mental and emotional rut. Like, that's kind of crazy if you think about it, that the majority of people are like not doing well right now. And this number grows even bigger when we're talking about specifically Gen Z. We, as a Gen Zer, I'm allowed to say this, we are being called the saddest generation, the most miserable generation. What the is going on? One sec. Drink your water. So I decided to do a little deep dive and talk about, why are we so sad? One, what is going on? Why are we in such a rut? And two, I can't solve your problems, but I can share my experience with getting out of a rut and how I've kind of gotten my spark back. Whatever you're going through, whether it's money problems, family problems, friendship problems, career problems, that type of heavy stuff breaks your spirit. And I know because it broke mine. And I'm going to get into that in just a bit. But basically, for the past like 4 years, I haven't really been myself. I haven't been the bubbly, fun Gigi that I used to be. And I feel like in the past 6 months, I've finally found my rhythm and I'm starting to feel like myself again. And that is an intentional effort that I did to find myself again, to find my spark again. When you're going through something, it's so easy to kind of just spiral for years and years and lose track of the things you loved, what brings the light in your eyes. And in today's video, I want to share with you all of the things that I did to get back to this place where I feel spicy. I feel that sounded sexual, but I feel like spicy in the sense of bubbly and charismatic and just myself again. And I need to give you a couple of disclaimers before I get started. One, I'm not a therapist. This is not professional advice. And two, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to process your feelings. This video is not about just jolting yourself back into happiness. And also, if you have like diagnosed anxiety and depression, like, this is not a video to solve your problems. Also, if you are new here, hi, I am Gigi. I am a 25-year-old girl living in Jersey and trying to level up my mind, my body, and my money, and just sharing my journey. Think of my videos as planting the seeds for your self-growth journey, because I want you to feel good so you go out in the world and do good. So subscribe and stay a while for that. So let's get into it. I graduated college in 2019, and when I tell you college was such a high for me, things were easy. I was gliding through it. I felt in my purpose. I felt happy, and like I had a lot of friends and I knew what I wanted to do, and everything was just making sense. And then I graduated and 2020 happened. The world blew up as we know it, right? The pandemic happened and everything changed. I was forced to stop what I was doing, stop working as hard, stop going to the gym, stop seeing my friends. Everything just came to a halt, right? And it was a very introspective time for a lot of people. And I really stopped for the first time in my life and took stock of my life and evaluated who I was, where I was in life, what I wanted to be, and I kind of snapped. I realized that there were a lot of issues from my childhood that I had not addressed that were impacting my friendships and my relationships. I realized that, speaking of friendships, that, you know, after graduation, a lot of my friends moved across the country for jobs, and I had to start this new chapter of navigating friendships, which is hard when you're not in school. But also, how do you do that when you're in a lockdown and you're not even seeing your current friends? I realized I didn't even know who I was outside of my job. Like, I'd worked so hard to land a job after college that it became my whole identity, and I didn't have any hobbies. I remember one day in March of 2020, like, having a breakdown because I had an identity crisis. I was like, who am I outside of employee? Didn't know. Couldn't tell ya. And as someone in their early 20s, I felt like a baby learning to take its first steps all over again and just feeling so confused and stuck. And when I look around at the people I know, a lot of people tell that same story, that 2020 is when they started therapy, when they started evaluating their life, and like everything's been kind of weird since. Post-pandemic Mia has just been a lot more gloomier, in my shell, introspective, a bit less confident. I feel like I haven't come out of my post-pandemic shell. But even outside of the pandemic, there's so much going on in the world. Gen Z is the first, okay, also some millennials, I have to give some millennials some credit, but Gen Z is mostly one of the first generations to address mental health the way that we're addressing mental health, to go to therapy, to kind of break generational traumas, to break bad habits. A lot of Gen Zers are in debt right now, are struggling financially, are not sure if they can ever afford a home. A lot of us are lonely. There's a loneliness epidemic going on. Literally, one of my biggest videos that blew up was about the struggle of making friends in adulthood. Also, there's a mental health crisis right now. Depression and anxiety are at an all-time high. The dating world is absurd. Can someone, Gen Z, please comment what the hell is going on with dating? Like, everyone who I talk to is like fighting for their life in the dating pool right now. Just adulting. Just everything, man. Like, it makes sense that people are just going through it, and everyone handles the stuff differently. Some people are depressed, some people become antisocial, some people get addicted to social media, but in general it feels like the world has beaten people's spirits. Like, people are just not great right now. Like, everyone who I talk to, whenever I hit up my friends and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? It's never like, hey, everything is great. It's always like, and then this happened with my job, and then my boss is like that, and oh my gosh, I'm behind on this payment. People are giving, it's giving Squidward, you know? Like, I feel like I understand Squidward as an adult. And obviously I can't fix all of your problems, right? I can't fix your dating problems, your friend problems, your family problems, your career problems, your money problems. And then there's a second layer, which is your spirit. And I feel like when I was going through all of that, and I still am going through a lot of it, I lost myself. I became a shell of a person. Like, I literally forgot who I was as a person. Like, what do I do in these situations? How do I react? What's my personality like? What, like, I lost the spark in my eyes. Do you ever feel like that? Like, you feel like, I want to feel excited about life again. My friends can attest to this. I have been in this rut for like the past 4 years, and I did very specific things to get myself out of it, and I'm going to share with you 9 of those things today. Number 1, eliminate people and things that put you in a sad box. Now, let me explain what I mean. When you are going through a depressive rut, a sad girl era, you subconsciously create your surroundings to reflect how you feel. Maybe that looks like you wearing all black clothing or just clothes that don't make you feel good. Maybe that looks like you making friends and surrounding yourself with people who are okay with you being sad or who want you to be sad, because maybe that makes them feel better. Maybe that looks like your music playlist being all depressing Taylor Swift songs or emo songs. When I was ready to find myself and get my spark back, I had to eliminate these things. I had to make an effort to be like, actually, I want to dress in a way that makes me feel good. I don't want to wear sweatpants every single day for 4 years. Also, I want to hang out with people that support my growth. I feel like people tend to put you in a box with what makes them feel comfortable. Like you're the quiet girl, for example. And if you try to be anything but the quiet girl, it's not comfortable for them. And they want you to stay in the box that they've put you in, if that makes sense. And I felt like I had a lot of friends who were like that. And I had to let go of those people because I needed people who were okay with me trying out different things and changing who I was. And that included getting out of this negative space that I was in. Number 2 is to take care of your health. Eat healthy food. Vegetables, vitamins, minerals will literally give you more energy. It literally equates to you feeling better. Eat vegetables, drink your water, go to the gym, exercise more, get sunlight, You guys won't believe the number of studies that prove that going for a walk and getting sunlight has similar effects to depression medication. Okay? Go outside. Get your sunlight. Like, for real, if you want to feel better, at least start with the scientific research that everyone knows will help you feel better. I just went through a wild week at my job. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this. But I was miserable. I didn't sleep a lot. I wasn't eating a lot. And when I finally did get like a full night of sleep, when I finally did eat a real meal, I felt better almost instantly. When you're going through the shit, you're like, oh my gosh, my life sucks. This is the worst thing ever. Eat a freaking meal. Did you do that yet? Go for a freaking walk. Did you do that?
I'm just feeling really down these days, and I don't know why. Have you exercised today? No. Did you go outside? No. Did you talk to anyone? No. Did you eat well? No. Did you limit your scrolling time? No. Did you make any plans? No. Did you drink enough water? No. Did you get enough sleep? No. Wait, yes. Yes to that one. Yeah, no, it's what a mystery.
I remember one time I was so depressed about something. I forgot what it was. It was like a couple of years ago. And I was walking through the streets of New York to go to work. And I happened to see this dance studio that's all glass. So as I was walking down the street, I could see the dancers. They were ballerinas. And they were so graceful and beautiful. And literally it lifted my entire day. I forgot what I was sad about. Go outside. Smell the roses. Look at the ballerina dancers. Go outside. Number 3 is have some cognitive flexibility. I heard this term for the first time on TikTok a few months ago, and it really resonated with me. Dude, how do I explain this? This is gonna sound so dumb to anyone who doesn't understand what I'm talking about. But at my job, I tend to be pretty antisocial, and not in the sense that I'm mean, but just like I go into work, I do my thing, and I leave. I'm not going to happy hour after work. I'm not celebrating my coworkers' birthdays. I'm just like, I'm pleasant, I'm nice, but like, you know what I mean? I'm not like going out of my way to like ask people about their weekends and engage socially. And that just started a long time ago from me being shy. And since then, I don't feel like I'm shy at all, but I still don't do it just for the sole fact that I've never done it. I feel like it would be super weird for me to walk into my office and be like, hey guys, how's everyone doing? How was your weekend? And like start talking to people because I feel like people will think that's weird. I don't know. Does that make sense? But basically, it's this thing called cognitive flexibility, and it means that it's hard for us to change how we see ourselves and how we've been doing a certain thing. When you think, this is who I am like this. I am quiet, or I am outgoing, or I am friendly, or I am antisocial. Whatever it is, people tend to stick in those lanes, and it's very hard to change one's perspective on themselves. And in my experience, this has been so true for sadness. I feel like I was in a rut for so long that kind of became my new identity, my personality. And even when I didn't feel like that anymore, I was still tying myself to that persona. Like, even if I felt like, laughing really loudly, like a huge belly laugh in front of my friends, in my head there was something that was restricting me from doing that, because I felt like it would be awkward to do that because I hadn't done that in so long. It's almost like I felt afraid to be happy. It was scary letting my guard down in that type of way and really blooming and being free and open to people. And it was just easier and more familiar and comfortable after so many years to just stay in a shell, to stay in my rut. Number 4 is very similar to what I just said, but you need to identify as an open person. Even if you feel like you're still in a rut and like you're not fully yourself, remind yourself of who you used to be. Look back on old pictures, jog your memory, literally put all of those memories that are like in the back of your brain to the front of your brain, so it's easier for you to remember what it used to be like to be yourself. I would look at pictures from 2018, from 2019, from college of me dancing, laughing, going to parties, going to concerts, and I was like, oh yeah, I was low-key that bitch. And in a lot of ways, 19-year-old me inspires the me today. I look to her for a lot of happiness and strength. Remind yourself, oh yeah, I am confident. Oh yeah, I am smart. Oh yeah, I do go out. Oh yeah, I do like to socialize, or whatever that means for you. But don't stand 10 toes down in this rut that you are in. Don't identify as like, yeah, I'm just a really like closed off person. Yeah, I'm just a really timid person right now. Like, that's not who you are. That's what you're going through currently. That doesn't have to be who you are forever. Number 5 is be open to the world. Get off the apps, girl. Get off the dating apps, get off the TikTok, get off the doom scrolling, get off your bed. You know that TikTok, ironically, you know that TikTok that's like, we outside.
Be outside!
That needs to be you. Okay? You can't be staring at your wall all day, going from work, home, sleep, get up, go to work, go home, go to sleep again, wake up, go to work. You cannot be doing that and expecting to like be alive, make friends. It's not going to happen, okay? These friends, they're not going to come knocking on your door. The man of your dreams, the woman of your dreams, not going to come knocking on your door. Be open to the world. And like, that doesn't always mean be super extroverted. That doesn't mean pack your schedule with social events. For me, that was like, it's kind of hard to put into words, but like having an open spirit, like taking things in. Like a good example is something as simple as when I'm in an Uber, a lot of times I will just put my headphones in and go on my phone and turn on like the don't talk to me switch, you know, that app feature. And for me, it's as simple as not doing that. Taking off my headphones, literally looking around and looking at the buildings and the people that I'm passing, talking to my Uber driver, just striking up a conversation, just being like, hey, how's your day going? How long have you guys been doing this for? People have met their future husbands from literally just striking up a conversation with someone standing next to them in the line at Chipotle. You can't be living the same pathetic life. Sorry, that was a little harsh. You can't be living the same pathetic life and like expecting new fun experiences. Change it up, switch it up. Engage in the conversation with your coworkers about their weekends. Start a hobby. Go to a pottery class this weekend. Force yourself to do the fun things. It really feels like getting back on a bike. It might be awkward, but you'll remember the gears. You'll remember how to pedal. Number 6 is similar. It's changing your surroundings. Maybe this is just a me thing, but I feel like it's much easier for me to usher in a new era of myself, a new chapter in my life when I physically change something. So I know that is so cliche because it's like, oh, every time a girl goes through a breakup or something, she either has to cut her hair or dye her hair red or something. But it's kind of like that. I feel like getting a new haircut, moving into a new apartment, buying new clothes helps usher in a new aura. Like it really does change the tone. It can really help kickstart a new energy, a new frequency, a new tone for your life. Number 7 is be silly by yourself. A big part of finding myself again is to just loosen up. I feel like when you're going through a rut, you become really rigid, you become stiff, you become less joyful, you become less loose, you become just more like you have a stick up your ass. And even if you're not a very silly person, it's important to just flex that muscle and remember that you are capable of like being loose. When I was going through my rut, I found it so hard to be silly in front of people because I had just been so closed off for so long. So the first step to doing that was to be silly by myself. If you're not comfortable letting loose by yourself, you're definitely not going to feel comfortable doing it in front of others. So for me, that was as simple as like listening to ABBA, Dancing Queen in the shower, busting some moves, singing to myself in the mirror. Be creative in some way. Draw, paint, write. I honestly haven't done my research, but I feel like there must be some kind of link between being creative and being looser in a personality sense, because it's such a different part of your brain. Like being creative, you're almost required to open up in some kind of way. And when you're in a rut, you're not open like that. And I think being creative will help jumpstart that openness. Number 8 is such a big one. It's gratitude. You know those days, weeks, months, let's be real, years, when you feel like the world is just not on your side. Like the universe is plotting against you. How come nothing is working in your favor? You keep getting rejected from jobs. You keep getting rejected from dates. You keep not getting that promotion. You drop coffee on yourself. Like, what the heck? Do you ever feel like that? Like the universe is conspiring against you? When that tends to happen, it tends to be, yes, sometimes reality can suck, but also because we're just in a negative mindset. In previous videos, I've talked about the yellow car theory, which is that when you think about a yellow car, you'll see a yellow car, and it's basically that we will see the world manifest in a way that reflects our mindset. So if I feel like everything sucks, I suck, I'm miserable, I'm just gonna keep seeing Easter eggs that reflect that mindset, that confirm what I'm already thinking. And so this is where gratitude comes in, because I know it's so hard to hear, well, just think positively, which is why instead of saying that, I'm going to say, write a list of things that you're grateful for and have a I get to attitude. Instead of, oh, I have to go to the gym, I get to use my limbs and my functioning body to keep itself healthy. A lot of people are disabled. A lot of people have such bad health problems they can't even go to a gym. Focusing on, I get to have a job. You know how many people are unemployed right now? You know how terrible the job market is? You know how many graduates are applying to hundreds of jobs and are having to settle for minimum wage jobs that they don't love? So gratitude will go a long way. And the ninth thing that got me out of my rut was to have perspective. An important thing that got me out of my rut is to think about life in a very universal sense, which seems really ethereal, but it helps. Like, the truth of the matter is there are 7-8 billion people in the world, and we are ants, microscopic beings on a rock that is just booking it through the universe, that is a part of an entire planetary system, that's a part of a galaxy, that's a part of billions of galaxies. Like, what? When you really zoom out and think about life in that sense, you're like, dude, none of this, it's not that serious. It was never that serious. And that's not to dismiss anything you're going through, but it's just to remember that there's an entire universe out there, that we're all gonna die. None of us matter that much. And that's depressing, but also very liberating. Like, dude, you only get such a short life. You might as well make the most of it. You might as well do things that keep you happy. You might as well get your spark back. You might as well dance through the streets and sing in the rain and dance to ABBA. And when you get your spark back, when you get out of whatever you're going through, it feels like a breath of fresh air. This is what it's like to feel like myself again. And I promise you, it is the best feeling, because the only person who is with you from the moment you are born to the moment you die, that experiences every life experience with you, is yourself. So return home to her. Return home to him. You deserve it. That is all I have for today. Comment down below some advice you have for getting out of a rut, and I will see you soon, buds. Bye. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's